Let's analyze the stock market trading session for today, Wednesday, April 6, 2022. Big sell off today. This level, remember that range I was watching very closely. I said it dipped below that and I will consider shorting. Well, today it was a big gap to the downside and it opened just a few points above that level. A quick sell off, and of course, I missed it. I'm not going to short of such a big gap to the downside. And after it immediately sold off. So I'm disappointed that I couldn't participate. Take a look at the 5 minute chart. This is a 5 minute chart. This is a gap that I was talking about. And then it quickly sold off. I mean, trying to short after such a big gap, down to gap to the downside, not the best idea. And also being aware about the Fed announcement at 2 p.m. That's right here, this volatility. That plus that made me not participate. Coming back to the daily chart, it found support at 44.50 and which kind of coincided with the 20-day moving average. So for tomorrow, that will be an important level. I don't see a setup yet that I would like to trade. I would like to see more price consolidation over a longer period of time. If it consolidates around this area, say down here, or a trip to the 50-day moving average, that will make it even better but for a potential bigger bounce. This is a second day down, so I don't think we're oversold yet. We're in the middle of all these moving averages, so I'm not going to do anything until I see some type of price consolidation. Like I said, ideally down here, I'll be looking for a bounce. We'll see if that plays out. If tomorrow it keeps going higher, then I will not participate. It closed just below the 200-day moving average. Then you have big support down here, very strong resistance up here. I'm no rush to short. I'm in no rush to go long. I'm just going to watch it for now and wait for a much narrower trading range. And then we have the Nasdaq 100. This one big sell off. The gap was bigger than the S&P 500. Same thing. I was watching this level very closely. I said below this level could be a short. As a matter of fact, I did say that if we dip below this low, that I didn't think this would be very strong support. I think it would have enough momentum to dip below that. Well, big gap down, and of course, I did not participate. Same idea as the S&P 500. It found support around the 20-day moving average. Not surprised, of course. Just below that, you have the 50-day moving average. Same setup. I'll be looking for the same setup as the S&P 500. Now we are between moving all these moving averages. That should be light so resistance on the way up, but really the big resistance is here around these moving averages. Support around that 20 and the 50. If we dip below today's low and find support around the 50, 14,300, then that will be a more attractive setup. But of course, I want to see some price consolidation before I try to play the bounce. For now, I'm just going to be very, very patient as I haven't traded since last week. It's been like 5 trading days, and I really thought that I was going to participate um, on a breakout out of this range. But of course, I didn't. For the semiconductors, this one, same thing, big sell off. But this one has been showing a lot more relative weakness. 3 big down days, one up day, and now this is the second day in a row the way down. Found support. I want to say very close to this level, 31.50. So I will be watching that closely. today I was tempted to go long. The only reason is because of how can I say oversold bounce, really far away from all the moving averages. Try to play a bounce, but it kind of closed very close to the low of the day. If it would have been a different candle, maybe something like this, would have been a different story. But it found very strong support around today's low, which was 31.65. Multiple times hit that spot multiple times during the day. Let's take a look at the 5 minute chart. Here's a 5 minute chart, not multiple times, twice. That same level, 31.65 here, 31.65 here. So, like I said, I didn't close very strong. That's the reason why ultimately why I decided not to buy it. But I'll be watching it very closely tomorrow. If we spend more time around this range tomorrow and then a quick bounce above today's high, then I will consider going long. Back to the daily, like I said, 31.50 should be strong support if we end up dipping below today's low. We are obviously far away from all the moving averages, so oversold, I'll say. And so that's the bounce that I want to play, an oversold bounce. Now the Dow Jones Industrial Average, same as the other indices, big sell-off. This one relatively not as bad. It dipped below the 50-day, the 20-day moving average, pushed back above that, and it closed way above that level. Of course, this level was expected support. It did dip below that, but it finished above that level. Range will be exactly the same range for this one. If it dips below today's low, that will confirm a breakdown below the 50 and the 20. At that point, it will be below all major moving averages. If it happens in the next couple of trading, if it happens tomorrow, I'll skip it. However, it happens in the next couple of sessions, a little more consolidation and then dip below that. That could be a short. Long side, not until it pushes above 35,000, which will coincide, if it happens, of course, in the next couple of sessions, coincide with the 100-day moving average and the 200-day moving average. For now, nothing to do. Conclusion, it is stuck between this range and all these moving averages. For the Russell 2000 IWM, after a couple of days, it's not looking beautiful anymore. 2 days ago, two trading sessions, it was trading above these moving averages. Finished yesterday just below the 20-day moving average, and then today below the 50-day moving average. So the path of least resistance for this one is down. I don't think it's oversold enough to expect a big bounce. Of course, that can happen. If that's the case, I'm not going to play it. It'll be nice if it can consolidate around this area and then push higher. But then you have all these moving averages. So it would be very choppy. The best thing, I think, best setup for this one, for the IWM, is if we dip lower and then try to play an oversold bounce. Maybe, who knows, just way down here tomorrow, the next couple of sessions, and then a bounce. And that could be a better spot to go long. Conclusion for today, it was a big sell-off, dropped below major moving averages and support. Now kind of stuck, most of the indices stuck between moving averages. After a couple of sessions, we'll see where we'll be looking for clues where it wants to go. Either consolidate a little, push higher, or go much lower. But I think that would be very necessary to wait at least a couple of sessions to get a better interpretation for the next move. Thanks for stopping by and good luck trading tomorrow.